Hey everyone, we're up to Chapter 8 in Blue Collar Leadership. Chapter 8 is Someone is Always Watching. You ever thought about that? Ria and I were in Guatemala with John Maxwell and 150 other Guatemalan coaches in 2013. Another one of those amazing things we got to do because of our personal growth and development. That opportunity was available, and we went and participated in the beginning of the cultural transformation in Guatemala. So to teach the point that I'm making here in this book, there's a great story I share. I talk about it on stage all the time about modeling. And when we were there, you know, if you remember, I'm bilingual. And I don't say that to impress you, but to warn you, I speak English and country, right? And so when we were in Guatemala, they speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I barely speak English sometimes. But so when we went there to train, and we trained over 20,000 Guatemalan leaders, 150 of us did, in just a few days. So when we got there, we all got paired up with interpreters, and most of them were young college students. So actually I had to have two, right? I had to have one to go from country to English, and then another one to go from English to Spanish. So I had two interpreters. That's one of my corny jokes, so you stick with me through that. So on the taxi over the first day, her name was Bertha, by the way, and Bertha and I were riding over, and I'm always talking leadership. The stuff I'm talking to you, this is all I do. I talk about it everywhere, all the time, 24/7, 365. When I'm sleeping, maybe I dream about it. I don't talk about it. But this is all I'm worried about. So I talk to everybody everywhere about principles of influence, which is leadership. And on the way over, I must have said something that got Bertha thinking a little bit deeper maybe than she had been thinking. So when we get out of the taxi, we were going to speak that day to about 50 business executives, business leaders. That was who our group was for that 4-hour training session that day. And when we're walking in, Bertha says, just kind of out of the blue, Bertha says, I don't know if I want to be a role model, Mac. I looked at her, I said, Bertha, you already are, because someone's always watching. The real question is not, do you want to be a role model? Your real question is not, do you want to be a role model? You may not want to be a role model, but someone's always watching. So you don't get to choose that. What you get to choose is this, and this is the question you have to answer. What kind of role model do you want to be? Because someone's always watching. And when it comes to you and your career and your growth, last chapter I talked about, I can't even remember what the chapter is now. The secret to your success. Last chapter I talked about the secret to your success. And you're in business for yourself. You're working for yourself. So when you have that mindset and you apply it to this chapter, and you think someone's always watching. If I'm in business for myself, what do I want them to see? How do I want to be when I'm around anybody, anywhere? Because who you are 24/7, 365, not who you are just at work, but who you are. Who you are on Friday night and Saturday night. Who you are at the little league ball game when your kids are playing and things maybe don't go right. Who are you? Because people everywhere, when you're in business for yourself, and everyone is, people everywhere are watching you. People everywhere are talking about you. There's people talking about you right now. You get to decide are they saying good things or bad things, for the most part. Sometimes people say bad things when you haven't done a bad thing, but in that case, you are the one that gets to decide if it's true or false because of who you are. So just remember that. Someone's always watching. And when you talk about work and growth and development, there's people watching you at work. There's other leaders watching you at work. You may hate where you work right now. You may hate the boss. You're like, I don't want to work for this boss. I'd rather work for that boss. But guess what? If you're working inefficiently or ineffectively with this boss because you don't like this boss, that boss is watching you. They're already watching you. If you would actually do a good job where you're at, you might have an opportunity to go where you want to be. So don't forget that. Someone's always watching. You're always modeling who you are. It's not about what comes out of your mouth. It's about what comes out of your life.